This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Jesus in Egypt by Paul Perry. Contents. Behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. Matthew 2:13. Prologue: The Secret Stories of Jesus. I felt uneasy going into the dark Cairo alley with the two strangers. I had just met them at the old Cathedral of St. Mark in the Asbakia district. I was standing in the back pews of the 18th century church, admiring its incredible icons, those bright paintings that give life to the stories of the Bible. As I moved from one icon to the next, I suddenly became aware of the two men behind me. "Good evening," I said, stopping. "Good evening to you too," said the man with the mustache. "You are American?" "Yes," I said. It was not long after September 11th, and few Americans were traveling to the Middle East. I was conspicuous everywhere I went, so it was no surprise that I would be singled out at a Coptic church, one that would be off the beaten path for most American travelers anyway. "You have come to look for Jesus?" asked Mustache. "The secret police are working overtime tonight," I thought. "Why do you think I am looking for Jesus?" I asked. Mustache smiled and held up his hands. "House of Jesus," he said. "You must be here to look for Jesus." I kept walking and looking at the icons. The two strangers stayed right with me. Mustache and his friend spoke quietly in Arabic, pacing behind me for some time as I tried to ignore their presence. Finally, Mustache tapped me on the shoulder. "Would you like to see the well of Jesus?" he asked. "I certainly would," I said. "Did Jesus drink at this well?" "Yes," said Mustache. "He made it, and he drank there. And it is still there. It makes women have babies. Hazem and I will take you." "Sounds interesting," I said, assessing these rogue guides. They were smiling, and they both seemed harmless. Not quite choir boys, I thought, but close enough to trust on a short field trip. "Let's go," I said. And we did. We headed out of the church and across its walled courtyard to the busy street. The well of magic water was less than 200 yards away, my new friends assured me. It would be no problem getting there. I had already been in the country for 2 weeks, following the trail of Jesus in Egypt. It is a trail you will find nothing about in the Holy Bible, and because of that conspicuous absence of information, it represents one of the Bible's most mysterious gaps. In the second book of Matthew, we read the story of King Herod, who is troubled when an unusual star appears in the east, followed by 3 wise men searching for the baby that is born King of the Jews. Herod gathers his own cabinet of wise men together and asks them where this new king has been born. They say he is in Bethlehem and quote the Old Testament prophet Micah, who wrote, "Out of thee," referring to Bethlehem, "shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel." Herod is obviously fearful of this newborn competition. But for some reason, Herod's soldiers are unable to follow the shining star that marks the crib of Jesus. Instead, he asks the wise men to return to him with information on how to find the newborn Messiah so that he too can pay his respects. The wise men promise to return with the information Herod wants. But after delivering their precious gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh to the infant Jesus, an angel of the Lord appears to them in a dream and tells them not to return to Herod. Instead, they departed into their own country another way. With the wise men gone, Joseph is visited by an angel who divulges some harrowing information. The baby Jesus is wanted, dead or alive, by King Herod. In Matthew 2:13 we read, "Behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him." With that verse,
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.